Hello humans, I am the Black Cat and welcome to Weird Wednesday. For today's mystery, we must travel back to the 1760s to a small town in England called Shepperton Mallet. This is the story of Owen Parfitt. In his early life, Owen worked as a tailor with his father. Apparently he was very good at it and was well on the way to having a promising career. But he soon became restless and decided to disappear. No one knew where he went at the time. People searched for him, but he was never found. His parents would pass away without ever knowing what happened to him. After several years, Owen would return home with tales of adventure. Owen would tell people lots of tales of his adventures with pirates and fighting in battles and having many women. A lot of people didn't really believe all of his stories and would just be like, oh well, Owen with his crazy stories again. So if his stories were true or not, who knows? Now an elderly man, he decided it was time to return home. He continued his work as a tailor until his health started to deteriorate. After a while, he would no longer be able to walk on his own. So he decided it was time to retire. Owen, now in his 60s, lived with his elderly sister. In the evening, Owen and his sister would sit on the front porch and watch the farm workers. Owen was now completely paralysed and couldn't walk at all. So his sister would often get the assistance of a neighbour to help carry Owen to his chair on the front porch. One evening, Owen and his sister were sitting on the porch as usual. It was a cool evening, so Owen had a coat on and a blanket over his legs. As they watched the workers, Owen's sister got up to go inside and start dinner. When it was time to bring Owen back inside, she went out and was shocked to discover that his chair was empty. Owen was nowhere to be seen. His coat and blanket were still on the chair, the blanket still over the chair as it was before. She looked around but couldn't see him. Knowing there was no way he could have walked away on his own, she assumed someone must have come and taken him. She ran to the workers who were close by and had full view of the porch. She asked them if they had seen anyone come to the house, and they all stated that they didn't see anyone. The neighbour arrived, as usual, to help carry Owen back inside, as she normally did, and found his sister in a panic. She asked the neighbour if she had seen him, and of course she hadn't. Soon a search party would gather in order to search for the missing man. However, no trace of him was ever found, and he would go down in history as one of the strangest unexplained disappearances. Flash forward approximately 50 years, and a construction dig dug up a skeleton in the same town, so people naturally assumed that it was the remains of the missing man. However, this possibility was ruled out because the remains were found to be that of a young woman and not an elderly man. Who this young woman was and how she ended up being buried there, who knows. To this day, the mystery of what happened to Owen remains unsolved. So, what are the theories? Theory number 1, revenge. Did Owen's past catch up with him? As I mentioned earlier, Owen would often tell wild stories about his past. He would recount time spent with pirates, fighting in battles, and how he would have affairs with many women, including married women. So the theory is that perhaps despite people's belief that his stories were fictional, maybe some of it was true and someone he had crossed in the past came to get revenge and made away with him. If this theory is true, wouldn't the workers have seen someone come and carry this man away? Were they threatened to keep quiet? I guess it could be possible. But would he be taken without making any noise that his sister didn't hear it happening? Theory 2, murder. His sister killed him. Having to take care of your brother while you yourself are elderly wouldn't be an easy task by any means. Could his sister have gotten sick of looking after him? Could he have pushed her last nerve and she snapped? Again, possible. But also again, the presence of the workers would make it difficult to do without them noticing. Also, the fact that she herself was elderly and needed help just to move him to his chair in the first place makes this theory even less believable. So if not the sister, could the workers have killed him without the sister knowing? Or even, could the sister have killed him with the workers' help? That's certainly a possibility, but if that was the case, then why not come up with a better cover story? The story of him just vanishing would make it more suspicious. Theory 3, aliens. Could Owen have been abducted by aliens? In a way, this theory would answer a lot of factors. If he was zapped away, there'd be no sound. It would happen so fast that no one would notice. Sure, that's a possibility. I guess technically no one could really prove that that didn't happen, but you also couldn't prove that it did. Theory 4, dimension or time jump. Did Owen somehow jump into another dimension or a parallel world? There are so many stories about the idea of parallel universes. The trouble is, the same problem with the alien theory. How would you prove it? How could anyone know? Did Owen jump into a parallel universe and be confused about why everyone and everything around him had changed? Along that same line, is it possible that he time slipped? I've done other videos about time slips before, so I do believe that it's possible. However, in the majority of those stories, the time slip is a short moment. It doesn't last for very long. Could it be possible that Owen time slipped and just never came back? Again, impossible to know. Theory 5, fake news. Of course, there's also the theory that the whole story is fake, that Owen never existed in the first place. Honestly, I would be disappointed to find out it was, but I also wouldn't be surprised. While researching this story, I found that a lot of the information would change from one source to the next, like the name of the sister was different in different sources. So it's possible that over time the story may have changed somewhat and some facts may have been lost to history. I mean, the story is over 200 years old, so it's difficult to know what the facts are. We may never know what really happened to Owen, but one thing for sure, his name was remembered through history. He may never be found, but he certainly won't be forgotten. But anyway, that's all the time I have for this mystery. Let me know your thoughts, and if you like this video, you could go ahead, give it a like. But thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!